Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. On today's episode, we'll have Tammy Sweeney, the new CEO for TCU Place in Saskatoon, as well as Colin Farnan talking about universal accessibility and building codes. As always, we'd like to connect with you. Follow us on Facebook to watch new and past interviews or email us at connectyxe@gmail.com. Saskatoon's TCU Place continues to showcase the marvelous facility that it is, upgraded and renovated over the years. And we also have a new CEO, Tammy Sweeney is here. Tammy, thanks for taking some time out of that busy schedule that you have. And I know we're ramping up again with post-COVID events and so on, but thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I want to talk a little bit about yourself before we dive into the future of the organization and the facility. You're new to Saskatoon here and in this role. Tell us a bit about yourself and how you came here.
Sure. So I am new. I've been here just over a year, and I got to TCU Place in the middle of COVID. I did all the interviewing throughout COVID, and I had never been to Saskatoon. So when I drove here for the first time, it was this very surreal experience driving into the new city, stopping at TCU Place because I had never seen the building, and just really excited to start that new chapter of my life. But it was a pretty strange way to start a new role. But I'm happy. I love Saskatoon. It's a great place, and I love TCU Place.
Well, you're joining a lot of very nice, friendly people here, I must say.
Both in the city and in the company. So our organization, our board has been extremely supportive, and just the community. Even though I hadn't been able to meet a lot of people live, everybody's extremely supportive. It's been great.
We're glad you're here, and you take the reins from the late Bob Curl, a fantastic individual and true community booster. You're run by a board of directors, and the vision for the future of what's happening both right now and your future bookings that are coming in now. Talk a bit about what you're doing with TCU, both for events, any bookings, and if there's concerts and so on that are waiting in the wings that you can share with us.
Sure. So there is a lot happening. So as much as our COVID numbers in our community are increasing, and we have had a few cancellations, we also have a very active sales team that's reaching out and receiving calls from clients with corporate events and conventions and conferences and galas and weddings. So that planning is all still in the works. We do have a decently busy fall. We're not back to pre-pandemic levels by any means, but we have a number of weddings. Our wedding business right now is actually really, really strong. And I think people have been holding off on those weddings for a year and a half, and they're really excited to make them happen. So we have some really great large weddings in the building this fall. We also have the symphony, which is going to be starting back up again in September, and tickets go on sale for that starting tomorrow. So we're really happy that they're back home on the TCU Place stage. We also have a few concerts. We have City in Color in October. We have Postmodern Jukebox in November. Our Fireside Singers will be back again. And then a number of events for spring into next year. In terms of larger concerts and concerts for the spring, and I'm going to say winter of 2022 and beyond, lots in the wings, and lots some of them we've got 2 or 3 dates on hold, and they're really working with regulations across the country, because a band can't come just to Saskatoon. They have to make sure they can pretty much go right across the country to make it worthwhile for them. So we're really waiting for all the provinces to be in the same place for some of those larger tours.
I'm glad to hear that we're not the flyover city that some perceive us to be, and that there is a bit of a gravitating to both your facility and the city here.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the weddings and so on that are starting to book up on the banquet side of things. Is there any protocols that you're starting to adopt or adapt with in terms of what you're doing to meet those service needs?
Sure. So you mean in terms of COVID or safety,
Yeah.
those measures? So we
Yeah.
are continuing everything. We have a GBAC Star accreditation in the building, which we received in early 2021. We were the first venue in Saskatchewan to receive that. And it's a series of standards that are geared towards cleaning and sanitization and practices to keep people safe. And so we're continuing with all of those practices. And they touch on things like, the amount of times we're cleaning some of those high touch areas, and distancing and those kinds of protocols. We are also strongly recommending masks as people come into the building. And every event, though, is a little bit different. So for some events, we will be looking for proof of vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test, and that's at the promoter or the client's request. For other events, we're also taking temperatures. So every event, the nature of every event is a little bit different. The closeness of how people are gathered, is there alcohol or not alcohol at the event? So they all dictate slightly different practices, and we have a variety of options that we will work on with our clients to keep their guests and our team safe. And so we'll work with them flexibly on the best options for them. But masking, proof of vaccination, proof of a negative COVID test, or temperature taking, those are some of the options that we're doing and we're mixing and matching for different events.
Would it just be, I think we're just evolving as we have the past year and a half. Would it be just a prudent business practice for those attending? I think anyone who does not want to have a vaccination obviously won't have one, but to be prepared to show either identification or be prepared to be tested, get a temperature reading or contact tracing, things like that as a
I think
normal
I
business?
think it's a good practice. I mean, we're in a time right now where we want to be able to conduct business and meet safely and connect together safely at mass gatherings. We want the concerts to go on, and in order to do that, we want to make sure that people are safe. So, I think if you are hoping to go and attend one of these events, be expecting that there will be some extra precautions taken to keep those people safe, so that we can keep meeting and keep gathering and keep going to those concerts.
What's your general sense, and can you shed some light on the normal cause of business for Tammy when she goes to work every day? Is it HR
Oh.
related? Is it visioning for the future budgets? What happens in your day in a typical work week?
That's a great question, and every day is completely different. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I love this business and I love this role. So this week, honestly, has been a lot of our team gathering and looking at the different policies. Do we want to have a blanket policy for masking? Do we want to have a blanket policy for vaccinations? Consulting with labor relations, with the unions, with the city, with legal, and really trying to gather all of the information we need to put a policy in place that's not going to, or sorry, that's going to protect our business and protect our people. So there's a lot of conversation around that. And then there's dealing with the clients. So for our weddings that we have in house, we've had several meetings with them on safety processes because we want to make sure that all of our clients are aligned with the safety procedures that we have in place. And that all takes time because everybody's managing the change in different ways. I would say there's probably more HR in my role in the last year than there normally is, just because of, we've had staff that haven't been working or had reduced hours. So there's a lot of HR conversations that happen. Um, and then really focusing on future and building a strong culture here. And that's really, really important for us as we move forward, helping people to feel connected and like they belong to something that has such purpose in this city.
Well, when you look at, I guess, how TCU is positioned and its history from the mid 60s with the old train station that was nearby, and now council is working on that entertainment district. We have the new library announced with its location in 2024. This has to be exciting in terms of your proximity. I know we can't speculate on future locations of an arena and so on, but it has to be exciting from TCU standpoint that interconnectedness of all of these synergistic buildings and places, what it will do for you and the facility there.
Absolutely. I mean, it really was one of the draws for me coming into Saskatoon, I'll be honest. The prospect of playing a part in whatever way of really designing a different kind of a downtown that's going to draw people in 365 days a year. I think that's really exciting. And I think we have a tremendous opportunity to take a really nice downtown and make it extraordinary. And that downtown extends into a number of different directions, but I think the more we can build and add here with purpose and with the purpose of helping people connect and helping businesses to thrive, the stronger the whole city will be. It's very
You're in
exciting.
a you're in a very unique position and role that you do play because on one hand it is service oriented, but another facet of it, I guess, is that cultural end where we have things like the symphony and some of the acts, and Fireside Singers always sells out, things of that nature. Uh, what do you see with are graduations being planned again on the same scale that they were, pre-pandemic?
At this point, they're not. We have a couple of graduations on the books, but a lot of them are just in a bit of a holding pattern. And I think sometimes some of our schools and organizations have found a different way to do business over the past year and a half. And so they're deciding what to hold on to and what to not. So we do have some on the books for sure. And then there are some that are in a little bit of a holding pattern and will reach back out to us. And in the meantime, our sales team is actively talking to clients and prospective clients to help them understand how we will help them meet together safely.
It's great to hear that there's been no vision lost, and the future is still bright for the organization and for the city. And congratulations on your role in managing through this difficult year that you've had. So hats off to you and a big salute to you and shout out for all
Thank
of your
you.
work and with the staff. So Tammy, thanks again for taking time out, and we'll see you at the events.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Going to take a little break, folks, and we'll come right back.